Okay, welcome back, and it's still fruitful. We're talking roots. This episode, we're doing a series of videos on it, and I'm sure you're enjoying. The first one we said was drop roots first. Drop roots first. The first thing you need to do is to drop roots before you begin to show forth. Be well. We said, be well grounded before you become well known. Otherwise, when the storms of life come, you'll be in big trouble. What's the lesson for today? Still on roots of the fruitful. We're looking at drop roots deep. Lesson 1, drop roots first. Lesson 2, drop roots deep. Let it not be shallow. Let it not be shallow. Don't forget, the root is to a tree what the anchor is to a ship. Right? Trees know this, and therefore they ensure that they drop roots that go deep. Deep into the soil. As deep as they can get, so that they tap into where they would get constant nourishment. Trees have no business concentrating on just the surface to a certain meter or so. No, or a certain few centimeters. They want to go deep, right? Because roots are not just for drawing nourishment from the soil. Roots are supposed to hold the tree. A tree doesn't want to grow up and see itself falling. It wants to grow and stand tall. So the roots are supposed to hold a tree. So you want the roots to be so deep, so that the tree would stand upright, right? So walk through nature. Try it. Just step out after this video, even as you're watching this video, look around you, and after a heavy rainfall, you realize that it is those trees whose roots have no depth that have been uprooted by winds. The wind comes and then it just blows the tree away because its roots are not deep. It takes more than gale force winds to uproot deeply rooted trees. You would take some doing, right? You've seen some construction work where they have to cut a tree that has been around. You see the depth of the tree's roots, right? There are trees that have been planted in the median of certain major cities, and the trees have grown roots that are so deep that if they are going to cut them, the stump alone, there's a lot of work that is going to be done on that. The fruitful are sure to have deep connections to their core beliefs before they step out. Deep connections to their core beliefs. They know that they know where they're coming from, and they believe in it. They believe so much in it, and so they are convinced that the best way to go is to ensure that they get to the very top. They are very deep, and they are clear in their minds. If you realize people who are fruitful in life, and you see, I love fruitful because when we talk fruitful, we are not necessarily talking riches like money. There are people who are very fruitful who haven't bought private jets yet. Not because they can't afford, but it's not in their plans. They don't want it, right? There are people who are fruitful and they don't have $1 million, but they are fruitful because your fruitfulness is tied to your purpose, right? So let's get that clear before we even continue, right? So that you know that there is a need for you to drop roots that are deep. Don't do shallow stuff. Make sure that the roots you are dropping are very, very deep. Be stable in your thoughts and be very deep in your beliefs about your convictions. If you believe in something, be ready to die for it. I'm saying that. I've said that several times that you're ready for something, be ready to die for it. Put your neck on the line for it. Don't be tossed, like the Bible said, to and fro by every wind of doctrine. Trust in the fact that if and this one I like to talk to those who believe in the Christ of the Bible. Be convinced, because it seems as if everything out there is meant to convince you that you are wrong. It takes deep convictions to hold on to your faith. Deep convictions, because some will make you feel like you're silly for believing in it. Hold on to your faith. Drop deep roots. Make sure you are not wavering. Don't hold a shallow view of your faith. So sometimes I get worried when I hear of Christians who would call and ask a certain question, and you ask them, where are you getting this from? You say, I heard somebody say it on Facebook, so I want to know. And you ask yourself, so what? You don't know what you're following? You don't know what you're following. Somebody on Facebook said something, or somebody on YouTube said something, and your faith is shaking, and you're wondering, have I believed right? I'm not saying accept. Let people bring their contents to you. Let people say what they want to say, but be grounded in what you've believed in. And I'm saying that if you are not grounded today in your faith, go get grounded. Convince yourself before you step out there. And the truth is that as the days go by, your faith is going to be tried and tested more and more and more. Are you going to throw away what you believe in? You've believed in a thing for 10, 15 years, and then one day somebody comes and makes an argument that sounds so solid, and then you say, oh no, I'm throwing my own away. Right? No. Whenever I hear people talk like that, the first thing that comes to mind is these people have not believed for themselves. Someone has believed and told them. That is why another person's belief is beginning to shake the first belief they had. But if they've convinced their own self of what they believe in, hey, who is going to shake them? Nothing is going to shake them. Absolutely nothing is going to shake them. So please, please, and please drop deep roots. Not just any roots, but roots that are deep. Steady, steady, steady. That is why Paul, writing to Timothy, right, said, study to show yourself approved. Study, read, check with info, ask questions, so that you are well grounded in your faith before you step out. If you don't drop deep roots, you will shake, and you will be at the beck and call of every other doctrine. And those people who say, yeah, I just want to be sure. Yes, I want, you should be sure. But you see, it is one thing putting your faith to the test, and it's a totally different thing hearing somebody and saying, hey, maybe mine is not true. You didn't believe for yourself, right? Convince yourself that what you hold is that which is true. That which you hold is that which is true. Drop deep roots. If you don't drop deep roots, you'll be easily uprooted. Drop deep roots, or you'll be easily uprooted. And that is a quick lesson on the roots of the fruitful in the series we're calling the fruitful. It's part of a book that we've written. We'll put it out there one of these days so that you can have access to that book. But don't forget lesson 1, drop roots first. This is lesson 2, drop deep roots. And that's fruitful. See you in the next video when we continue with the lessons, roots of the fruitful.